Let's get rid of these. So I need to decide what I'm actually going to do now in terms of cooling this petroleum. I did have a couple of ideas that I could do, like having chambers with metal tiles adjacent to small amounts of petroleum and try and cool it that way. The only thing we need to do is start getting some actually coming through the system so we can see what sort of throughput we're going to get. Obviously at the moment this is still just cooking the initial tiles. Once this whole column is done into petroleum, we should be in a better position, all being well. All being well. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is what temperature our oil's getting to in our pipes. Because I did have a weird bug in debug, where one of my pipes started just cooking to like 500 degrees, and then all of a sudden my pipe started exploding, which didn't make any sense because my petroleum was only at like 200 degrees or 170. So a bit of a weird one. By the way, I should explain, the giant tankard Stein, I don't know if you can see this. The lady bought it for me. Big boy. Big mug of coffee. The thing is, I'm petrified of knocking it over because it's very tall. I did not see if you replied. The igneous rock in the volcano chamber will not be a problem. It shouldn't be. If we need to, we can get in there and dig it out. But you'll see in a minute, when this erupts, it's just going to turn into more energy on here. It'll probably turn into bits of igneous rock as it hits this, but it will warm up this igneous rock. So all we've got is basically a big mass of energy here. It doesn't matter if it's not in liquid form, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So you'll see in a second. We should hopefully spike this a little bit and get this going. It's sort of flatlined a bit on temperature at the minute. 387. It is rising just very slowly. It could also be because we're currently cooking the gas. We've got obviously, because I didn't clean this out before we started, we've got polluted oxygen and carbon dioxide and all sorts in here, and they're getting slowly cooked up and warming up these sculpture blocks and stuff, so we are losing a bit of heat at the minute, but once this all starts flowing, it'll soon cook everything else in the room, which is fine. XS, long time no see, buddy. How are you? You have no idea what you're doing anymore. So much new stuff. Yeah, you need to get back into this game, man. You need to get back into it, start playing again. How are you, buddy? Are you all mended up now? Are you feeling better? You were on the road to recovery last time we spoke. This is a petroleum boiler, by the way, mate. In case you're wondering, it's an attempt at a petroleum boiler. We're going to see how it works. It might improve in the next update, right? The heat exchange, yeah, totally. Yeah, apparently it's a lot better now. It was fucked for a little while, but apparently it's a lot better now. So we'll have a look at that when it. We might even start a fresh colony tonight, honestly, because we've sort of done as much as we can now. I'm just dicking about with this because I don't really need a petroleum boiler at the minute, but I thought it's something for us to have a look at. How do we get on over here? Yeah, I'll need to fix that dig command in a second. I just want to see if any of this magma actually manages to stay liquid or whether it's just instantly. I think it's going to instantly solidify as soon as it hits the igneous rock, honestly, but we'll see. There's quite a lot of magma comes out of this, so. Honestly, if it instantly turns into piles of igneous rock, I'm fine with that. It's still heating the room, it's no problem. Tip top now, all good. You started playing, struggling a lot. Nice, XS. Well, it's good to have you back, buddy. Are you streaming again, or are you just taking it easy for now? Okay, I should get a little surge in temperature on this bottom plate now. The only time this will become a problem is if this solidifies here. Not too arsed. Again, we can just get in there and dig it out. To dig it out once every 40, 50 cycles, it's not really a big deal. I did, by the way, have a look at that mesh tile trick last night that Wachunga mentioned. It does actually work. It works to an extent because things can still solidify in tiles next to your mesh tile. So if I built all of this out of mesh tiles, then it might work a bit better. Thinking about off stream to get a handle on it. Don't want to look like an idiot again. Oh, don't worry about it, mate. I look like an idiot every new update. Don't worry about it. Okay, this crude oil's very close to cooking. Hopefully this will pour in a lot more now. Now, average temperature of our petroleum, if you look, is like 400 degrees, which it's going to be to begin with, whilst it's priming the system. And then once this is 400 degrees, it'll start basically making it a lot more efficient. It'll just keep running through. There we go. Nice. So we melted this tile here now, but it will solidify again. Okay. I could have also adjusted the flow on here to not pump it in so quickly, and then it probably would have just kept cooking off, but we just sort of slapped this down. So let's see if it gets this last bit of temperature pretty quickly. It's doing the idiot. You were doing the idiot all part of the learning curve, really. Yeah, you got to. As I say, I've always said this, guys. This isn't some, you know, this isn't me trying to be an arsehole. I've always said, with this game, just get in there and fail. If you fail, you'll soon be not failing. You'll soon get your head around it, and it'll soon be all right. I do it all the time. Look at this fucking build we've done. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm trying it. It might work. It might not. I might never build it again. It really struggles to get to those last few degrees, and I can only think that's because we're losing some heat up here to the gas. So you've got polluted oxygen that's gaining heat. That means we're losing energy from this column, and that's not what I want. Oh, we're close. Very close. This should cook in like 1 more degree. There we go. Nice. Okay, we're getting that. Montauk, good evening, buddy. How are you? You've not played since Germ Patch. You're way behind. Food is a pain. Yeah. Just get stuck in, mate. Honestly, get stuck in. Just build everything. It's the same old shit access. Just get stuck in and do everything. Right, speaking of idiots, may you explain a bit the piping and your no blocking priority system in the bridges? Yeah, of course. So right, this may look like a mess, but it's actually very, very simple. So we've basically got with our oxygen production, this is our main oxygen production up here, okay? Inside of here we've got mechanical filters kicking around, but essentially what we have is an oxygen pipe that comes down this side, an oxygen pipe that comes down this side, and an oxygen pipe that comes down just next to it here. This pipe is for exosuits, and this pipe is for exosuits. But essentially every pipe feeds another pipe. So, for example, this pipe that comes down the outside of the base here, okay? What this does, it will hit this bridge first, and then this bridge bypasses this bridge and fills up this pipe, okay? And as long as this pipe is filled, I'm happy, all right? But if this pipe is filled, okay, and the oxygen is backing up at this bridge, it can then go past the bridge to the second bridge, which will then send it down this line. And this bridge is into our exosuit pipe, okay? And we use this same sort of idea of bridge priority all over the place, all right? So first bridge gets priority. If this is backed up, second bridge gets the gas, okay? So we do it here, we do it here. So if this main pipe is backed up for our exosuits, send it down this pipe. And this pipe goes into our main oxygen pipe for this side of the base, which is the same thing. If this is backed up, okay, so this bridge sends it to that line. If this pipe is backed up, then it'll detour down here into our other exosuit pipe. All right, so what it basically means is our pumps have always got somewhere to put the oxygen in theory, unless every single pipe is backed up. And we do the same thing down here. This bridge is basically splitting our feed 50-50. So oxygen hits this bridge, splits 50% of it to this way, 50% down here, at which point it hits this bridge, okay, and goes into here. Here we're merging with another electrolyzer down here. We've got a single little electrolyzer on both sides of the base, and we're basically merging oxygen pipes. Again, we've got our hydrogen going off down another pipe. But if our oxygen can come into this pipe, then it does, it merges in. If not, it just waits. Likewise, we've got the same thing on this side. Our oxygen comes all the way down to our exosuits, all the way down here to this bottom bank of exosuits. But if this bottom bank of exosuits is filled, then it will bypass this bridge here, and it'll go back up here and on its merry way back into the other side of the base, okay? And if this pipe can accommodate any oxygen, it'll come down here. If not, it'll bypass up here to this other side of the base where it's going somewhere else. So all we're basically doing is we're making sure our oxygen's backed up. But if it has nowhere to go, I'm fine with it just chilling and not doing anything. But if it has somewhere to go, I want it there. So that's why all of our oxygen pipes are constantly backed up. We've constantly got a supply of oxygen being sent somewhere. So as long as somewhere needs it, because we've got so many exosuits, if a suit needs some oxygen, we've got it. It's there. It's ready to go. So it's basically just a bridge behind a bridge. Simple as that. How to cycling conveyor. Q-zone, you mean conveyor lines like this stuff? Is that what you mean? If you want it to just cycle, just slap a bridge in. And then you've got a loop. And the bridge will actually keep the flow of stuff going. And when it comes to loading up the line, all you do is slap a loader in place. So you'd have a loader, you know, like that. Load your loader manually, and then you just fill up your conveyor line. Is that working for liquid pipes as well? It does, yeah, yeah. And liquid pipes and gas pipes packets are slightly weird because they will try and satisfy. You know how you get the small little mini packets. Let's see if I can show you somewhere. How can I show you? I don't think we've got any nearby that matter. Yeah, you see how we get like these little mini packets in liquid pipes? So you get the same thing in gas pipes. But with liquid pipes, it doesn't really matter. You can do the same thing with bridges. It's all about where you send your liquid, how you send it using bridges. Bridges are just a priority system, really. But they do have some quite interesting behaviours. So like this on our gas pipes, this is something that Kasua pointed out on the forums. It's probably not the best place to show you down here. This might be a bit tricky to see, but what we've basically got is let me see if I can build one over here. Let's say we had 4 exosuit docks like this. Okay. Now, if we tried to pump in gas like that, this dock will get all the gas first, then this one, then this one, and this one, and there'll be packets bouncing back and forth, and it just doesn't work very well. So what we can do to get around that is do a little bit of bridge magic, okay? And we can do something like this, okay? And then what we've got here, basically, if you look at this central tile that I'm mousing over is technically a 4-way pipe, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. If we bridge into that pipe, like so, this bridge will always make sure that the feed is distributed evenly. Whereas if we had just a pipe coming into like there, right? This connection would get 50% of the feed. Okay, so say our gas is coming in from this way. Okay, This is an arrow, by the way, guys. That's clearly an arrow. It's a very good arrow. Looks like a ram's head. Say our gas is coming in from this way. Half of our gas would come down here, and the other half would go here. But that's no good, because this 50% of our feed is going 3 ways. It would then come to this pipe and be split there, there, and there. So to get around that, you do the little bridge trick, which is really cool. It's something I only found out about recently, but it is actually incredibly good. So we've used that everywhere we can, and this will basically mean that our feed always gets split evenly, which is good. So there's lots of little tips and tricks with bridges, but mainly just use them as a priority system. They are great for basically giving you some sort of control over where your gases are going. I've got water everywhere, what the fuck? Let's get all this shit mopped up. Oh, I know why I've got water everywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna just rip all this shit out, you know. But this stopped when all rail is full. It shouldn't do Q-zone. Just take your loader out the line. We're using the same thing with conveyors down here, mate. We're using conveyors down here. You need to make sure that you don't have a receptacle or something at the end if you want it to be a constant loop. Otherwise, as soon as your receptacle's full, it will stop. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Is it Monta or Montauk? I visit. You're very welcome, buddy. No problem at all. Right, how are we getting on down here? I've not been looking. Oh, shit, right. Our petroleum has started boiling over. Which is interesting. Okay. So it's working its way down here. So let's just make sure this doesn't open anytime soon. So at the moment our petroleum's come down here at like 40 odd degrees, but it ain't going to be 40 odd degrees for very long. So as you can see, all of our sculpting blocks are heating up. So yeah, we can need to run this for a little bit and see what happens. But at the moment we are making a bit of petroleum. It's going to be hot as fuck, but it is petroleum. So the next thing we need to do is make a little thing down here. So when this automation triggers on, this door is going to open and it's going to be dropped down here. So I'm going to build a little room here, I think. Try and build around this magma a little bit. And then we can contain it all. We'll use this slush geyser to do something with it because we've got a shitload of water coming out of here. Yeah, why not? Let's get rid of... let's get rid of you. Cool. I'm going to extend this tank down a little bit because it is starting to get a little bit high. I don't really want it to be. And we can also get some of this abyssite whilst we're down here as well. So let's get all of you mined out. Yeah. Fuck. What did we do down here? We didn't finish rescuing our slicksters, did we? Got this little guy free. I think we need to save him. I think what I might do is actually head down here a bit more with this ladder as well. And start digging some of this out, just so our oil can be collected somewhere else. So let's get you dug out. Why not? Okay. Right, let's get some sort of tank built down here. This magma's going to be a little bit of a fucker, it has to be said. So, our petroleum's going to drop through this door when the automation triggers it to. It's going to come down here, and there might be quite a lot of it. So maybe we should do something like this. Have it like drop down here and have some plumbing through this little mazy bit. That could work. Let's get down here and build this bottom couple of tiles. We can have our pump right at this furthest point, and hopefully we'll cool the petroleum before it gets down there. That is the dream. Let's just make sure this doesn't get built. Yeah, we'll do that. We need to sort of push this magma away a little bit. So the exosuits, they can go underwater for as long as the suit is O2. Yeah, basically, they can go further underwater as well, which is cool. And they can build at a further range and all sorts of good stuff. They're really good, the exosuits. The only problem is they do use a lot of oxygen, so you need to obviously keep them topped up with oxygen. If you've got no oxygen, you're sort of cock-blocked. I think I'm going to get this pipe ripped out, you know. I never actually got around to using this pipe. So let's get you going. I'm going to deconstruct these as well. Well, look at all the natural gas we've got out here. How are our little mini pumps doing, by the way? We seem to have very little CO2 in the base, so they seem to be doing alright. What the fuck? Why have I got like literally water all over the base? Is it from fucking ice? It is. Bastards. Let's do a little mop up here. I don't honestly know what's going on up here. It's always very messy. Should be able to build these. There we go. Let's get this done. Need to be a bit careful how we do this. There we go. Get this one done, and then we'll build this one. Oh, interesting. Right, our petroleum's cooled right down. And I'm assuming it's because this airflow tile's cooled down up here. That is interesting. So this needs to be warmed back up again for the next little surge. The volcano's not going to erupt for another 12 cycles, so it might take a little while to get a bit of energy there. But it's fine. It gives us time to get this other bit built down here. Honestly, once we've done this little bit at the bottom and cooled some petroleum, I think I'm happy to call it a day with this colony. I'll put the save up so you can have a play with it yourselves if you want. And then I think we're done. Right, let's rescue this little bastard down here. this. I don't want my slicksters coming up here. Just leave this for now. We'll try and get this mopped out, and then hopefully this will cool off a little bit. I'm sick of this overheat damage shit. Okay. Everybody get out. I'm getting rid of this tile. Don't do it when you're still on top of it, please. There we go. Very good. Cool. I really would like to get rid of this ruin. It's very annoying. Maybe we'll do another little ladder down here. I'm just break into all these pockets and let all this oil out. Might as well. Yeah, I think at the moment the because this room hasn't reached the sort of ambient temperature. Like our oil in the pipes is still at like 40 odd degrees because the oil coming from here is pretty chill, 37 degrees. I think it's going to take a while to prime this. So what we might just do is dump what we've got, let it run for a little bit. I might even super speed it or something in debug if you want. Just to see how we get on. Right, let's just throw a ladder in here whilst we figure this out. Going again, and just think how we're going to do this. Fucking neutronium in the way. Bastard. I think what we're going to do, we'll lower this down. Beamer on, thank you very much for the host, buddy. Much appreciated. How the devil are you, bud? Yeah, I think what we'll do, we'll drop this down. We'll need to run this pipe down here. Make it abyssalite. And then we'll just sort of run this through here or something. Let's see. Kind of need to do this pipe before they do anything else. Otherwise they're all going to get trapped. That's going to be a tile. This could work. We could have literally our pump right down. Let's see, how would we do this? We'd have a pump right down here and run the pipe back up here. Yeah, that's what